Okay, so picture this, the world of vintage art. It's high stakes. A single poster can be worth a fortune, but it is absolutely swimming with fakes. So how does one gallery, La Belle Epoque, not just stay afloat, but totally dominate for decades? Well, today we're going to crack open the vault and take a look at the secrets behind their fortress of authenticity. It starts with this. So simple, right? But this isn't just some catchy tagline. It's a battle cry. In a marketplace where you never know what you're getting, this single, powerful promise is the very first brick in the fortress they've built around their entire brand. And that really gets us to the heart of it all. How do you build an impenetrable fortress of authenticity when fakes are everywhere? What's the secret sauce that lets a company like La Belle Epoque command so much respect, not to mention those premium prices? Let's dig in. Right, so this fortress, it isn't built on actual bricks and mortar. Nope, it's built on people. More specifically, it's built on the unique, combined expertise of its two founders. This is where the company's real power comes from. So, let me introduce you to the founders, Linda Tarasuk and Elisa Porta. You couldn't ask for a more perfect partnership. Linda is the artistic visionary. We're talking 45-plus years of collecting experience. She has that curatorial eye. And then you have Ellie. He's the technical authority, and his credentials, well, they're what make their promise of authenticity completely ironclad. And when I say Ali has technical authority, this is what I mean. He was the past chairman of the vetting committee for the IVPDA. Now, you gotta understand, this isn't some local collectors club. This is the global organization that sets the rules for the entire industry. His name being on there gives them this institutional level credibility that's pretty much impossible to argue with. Okay, so you have this incredible foundation of expertise that nobody can touch. But how do you turn that into a winning business strategy? For them, it really boils down to two brilliant moves: where they set up shop and what they sell beyond just the poster. And this timeline here, this isn't just a list of addresses. It's a story of strategic evolution. They start in New Jersey, then they move to the collector-heavy Upper West Side, and then they make this really calculated leap downtown. Every single move tells you something about how their focus was shifting. So why the meatpacking district? Simple. That's where the money and the influence are today. This move wasn't about just finding a new storefront. Oh no. This was about repositioning the entire business to go after a professional, high-end clientele. Now they're right there, surrounded by luxury brands and top design firms. They've made themselves the go-to spot for architects and interior designers working on multi-million-dollar projects. And here's where the strategy gets really, really smart. See, they don't just sell you a poster. They sell you its protection. Custom framing isn't just some little add-on service. It's a huge, high-margin revenue stream that protects the client's investment and, just happens to jack up the value of every single sale. Genius. All right, now let's talk about the walls of the fortress. When you're dealing with fragile, literally irreplaceable art, you need a set of rules that are non-negotiable. And these policies, they are designed for one thing and one thing only: to protect the company and its inventory no matter what. 36 hours. That's it. That is your entire window to pay up. Why so strict? Well, it makes sure that the inventory moves fast and it weeds out anyone who isn't a totally serious buyer. In the fast-paced auction world, that is a critical defense mechanism. 72 hours. That's all the time you have to even ask for a return. Now, this isn't them being difficult. It's about minimizing the time that a delicate, one-of-a-kind piece is out of their hands, which dramatically reduces the risk of damage. Just look at their full return policy here. Are you seeing the pattern? The buyer is responsible for everything. The timing, the shipping, the insurance, and all the costs, coming and going. This systematically shifts all of the logistical and financial risk squarely onto the customer's shoulders. It's tough, for sure, but it's an absolutely essential part of their fortress. And if you want to understand why they're so protective, just look at these numbers. Shipping an unframed poster might run you about $125, but a framed one, which needs custom crating and all sorts of special handling, that can cost $1,000 to ship. $1,000. When you see this, it all clicks into place, why they need such strict control. So what's the end result of this super specialized, fiercely protected business model? Well, you build an absolutely world-class reputation. But that exact same rigidity can also cause a little bit of friction. I mean, the validation from the outside world is just undeniable. They've been featured in the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, the Washington Post. They've even organized museum exhibitions. This isn't just a shop, it's a cultural institution that journalists and curators turn to for expertise.
And that reputation, of course, shines through in their customer feedback. The vast majority of their reviews are just glowing, praising their expertise and their professionalism. People feel confident buying from them, which, let's be honest, is the entire point of their business model.
But, and this is a big but, that same rigid system has a flip side. We did find one critical review that talked about a really difficult online return. And the problem? It came directly from those super strict policies we just talked about, the tight deadlines and the buyer taking on all the risk. It's the inevitable clash you get when a fortress built to protect assets meets modern online shopping expectations.
So, what's the big lesson here? After this deep dive into La Belle Epoque, what's the ultimate takeaway from their success? I think it all comes down to the price you have to pay for true, 100% guaranteed authenticity.
And here it is, basically boiled down to a 4-step formula. 1. Start with founder expertise you just cannot argue with. 2. Build the entire brand on an absolute guarantee. 3. Strategically put yourself in exactly the right market. And 4. Defend the whole thing with rules that are tough as nails. That right there is the blueprint.
Which kind of leaves us with one final thought to chew on. In a world drowning in fakes and risk, to offer an absolute guarantee, is this level of rigid control not just a choice, but an actual necessity? Is this what the true price of authenticity looks like? Something to think about.